Made with Spoken. Feedback Loop by Steve Lance. Digital narration, performed by multiple digital voices. The boys are in a good mood. I had expected Ben to be hungover, but he seems fine. Wilbur had the good sense to pick up eggs, ham, biscuits, and jam for breakfast. He tries to hand me a receipt, but I wave it off and thank him for picking up the food. This is the first time I've seen them eat without guarding their plates as if someone might try to take it from them. Joe has even slowed down, taking time to laugh at Ben's jokes. Filling their bellies will make convincing them to follow my plan a lot easier. We made over $1,500. Not bad when you consider that's half a year's wages in 1920. Now, I need to convince the boys to invest that money. Left up to them, they would spend the next 2 months drinking and whoring, and most likely end up getting robbed and tossed in a ditch. There is a house on Hamilton Avenue I can use to send James and Frank messages. Before they sent me back in time, we worked out a system. They own the house in the future, and I will buy it in the past. In the basement, I'll loosen one of the cinder blocks and hide a coffee can with a message. It will sit there for 100 years until they read it in the future. Of course, it doesn't work in reverse. But they can use the time machine to send me stuff. And I plan to tell them they owe me 20 grand. And this time, don't drop it in the lake. I will also ask for a high-power rifle, which they won't send me. It would make things easier, but that fat-ass Frank couldn't care less. He probably thinks I would use it for other reasons. Maybe he is not as dumb as I thought. Nah, more likely dumber if that is possible. My headache has returned, so I take a feedback pill, and it subsides. I don't know what to think. Maybe these pills are just aspirin, and there is no feedback loop. Maybe I kill Hank, and I also disappear. I wouldn't put it past Frank to lie. But James is an awful liar. If it was bullshit, I think I would have figured it out from James. For now, I have to believe them. And the headaches are getting a little more intense. Once I square away my bootlegging business, I need to focus on Hank.
Hey, Stan, get yourself some eggs. At first, I thought you were full of shit, but your plan worked. Wilbur says we each made $400. I'm going to get drunk and laid every night for a month. And not those dollar whores either. I'm getting me some of them $5 whores.
I glance at Wilbur, who keeps his head down, pretending to focus on his breakfast. He knows I'm pissed. I told him to play it cool with the money. Now, the boys think the money belongs to them. I guess I have no reason to be angry. I knew Wilbur would tell the boys. You can't ask a person to go against their nature. I'll have to sweet-talk them into seeing things my way. I can't wait to have enough juice to tell people what to do and get no argument. Yeah, everyone did a good job, and you all deserve a reward. I'm thinking $50 each. The rest of the money I'll invest.
Like hell you will. 4-way split. That's what we agreed.
Ben spits a small piece of burnt egg white out of his mouth. Right, I only get $50 too. The rest we invest.
I want all my money.
Ben sits his plate aside and gets to his feet. Ben, when was the last time you had $50? Or for that matter, $5? Shit. With $50, you can still get drunk every night. And what's a $5 whore going to get you that a $1 whore won't?
It's not what she will give me, it's what she won't. Gonorrhea.
Ben laughs and looks around. Joe smiles and laughs with him. Hell, you don't think $5 whores have gonorrhea? I glance over at Wilbur and give a slight nod. I need to know if he's going to back me up. He gives me a nod back. Now we need to buy a truck. There is no use getting arrested for stealing one, and a house so we don't have to sleep on the ground. Wilbur stands and walks over next to me.
Now I think we need to listen to Stan. He is good at planning things. That $50 is more than any of us would have before we met Stan. And we have eaten pretty good 2 days in a row.
Wilbur faces Ben and says,
Nobody is the boss, but we all have a role to play. Ben, you are good at stealing and intimidating people, sad to say, but we need that. And Joe, you are a hard worker. Me, I like to keep things running smoothly. And Stan's job is figuring things out.
That is all I need Wilbur to say. The boys will fall in line, and I'm one step closer to controlling this group. They are getting in the habit of listening to me. Thanks, Wilbur. Joe, do you want to sleep under a roof tonight?
Why, sure, it gets mighty cold on the ground, and we have to keep getting up to put wood on the fire.
Good. You're coming with me. We're going to buy a house. It's an old house, but sturdy. Why, those oak beams they used, it will stand for the next 100 years.
A whole house. Do I get my own room?
There are 3 bedrooms. I get 1, Wilbur gets 1, and you and Ben share the 3rd.
No way. I get my own room.
Shit, you are sleeping on the ground. And you are complaining about sharing a bedroom. You would get your own if there were 4 rooms, but there ain't. You and Wilbur need to go buy a truck. You'll be in charge of the truck. Nobody else gets a truck, so don't give me shit about not getting a room. Ben glares at me, sits down, picks up his plate and shoves a spoonful of eggs in his mouth, then gives a forced smile and shrugs.
Whatever. But remember, you ain't the boss.
The house on the corner of East 38th and Hamilton isn't much to look at, but it is a good, sturdy building. They constructed the frame of thick oak beams with a solid foundation that keeps the basement dry. The last owner defaulted on the mortgage, leaving it with several broken windows, desperately needing a paint job and various minor repairs. It is 2 stories with a full basement and a detached garage. One of the garage doors is off its hinges and is leaning against the side. The bank asks for $1,000, but I'm able to convince them to sell it for $800 cash. It wasn't hard to persuade them. They didn't want to repair the building, and the longer it sat, the more windows would be broken. The important thing is that it still stands in 2021, and James and Frank will monitor it for a coffee can hidden in the basement. The theory is I put a message in it, and James and Frank find it 100 years later. They can then respond using the time machine. Supposedly, they have it tuned to send items to the basement, but I'm guessing with their aim, they will be dropping shit all over the neighborhood. I put Joe to work cleaning the house and head to the basement with a Nash coffee can, pen, and paper. At first, I wasn't going to send James and Frank any messages. I figured screw them. I would kill Hank and go about living my life. But James is desperate to get reports from me. He said it would help him fine-tune time travel. And seeing as they dumped me in the lake, it needs a lot of fine-tuning. I figure I can use it to get stuff I need. I'll send them information, and they send me what I ask for. Quid pro quo. Hello. I hope this letter finds you well and you don't have hemorrhoids from sitting on your fat asses. You morons dumped me in Lake Erie. I almost drowned and lost the gold and my other supplies. Hank is still alive. I need a few things before killing him. The feedback is not too bad. But send me more pills in case it takes a while to kill Hank. Also, send me another 20 grand, since the first one is at the bottom of the lake. Did I mention you 2 are morons? Oh yeah, I did. But it is worth repeating. I will also need a high-power rifle with plenty of ammo. And this time, don't drop it in the lake. Send it to the basement of this house. And I'm hungry. Send me a pizza from Guido's and a 6-pack of beer. No, make it a case. Stan, I read the letter, added a timestamp from a fancy clock James gave me, put it into the coffee can, and placed the can inside the cement block we had agreed upon. Hopefully, it won't take them forever to respond. But the message does have to travel 100 years. Then they have to find it, get the stuff together, and send it back 100 years, hopefully with better aim. I guess I'll be here waiting a long time.
Holy shit. Shit.
Joe screams from upstairs. I run up the stairs and Joe is holding a pizza.
I saw this blue flash and this box drop from the ceiling.
Joe stares at me with his mouth wide open. At least they didn't dump it in the lake. I wonder how they did it so fast. Of course, they could have had the message for days, even months, probably took their sweet time, and then sent it back to this point. That's why James gave me that fancy clock. I wonder what would have happened if I had put a timestamp from 5 minutes ago. Would they have sent me something before I sent the letter? And what happens if I go down to the basement and tear up the letter so they never get it? James warned me against deliberately causing paradoxes. He said the consequences could be severe. I have a lot to do, so I can't mess with it now, but maybe I can figure out a way to use it to my advantage. Threaten to blow up their whole timeline if they don't send me my 20 grand. I grabbed the box from Joe. There is a letter taped to the top. Did anything else drop from the ceiling? Like a bag of gold or a bottle of pills?
No, just the box. What is going on?
You imagined it. Nothing happened.
But the box is right there.
Joe points at the box. His mouth hangs open and his eyes look twice their normal size. Yeah, that's kind of hard to explain. Listen, Joe, do you trust me?
Why, sure.
Okay, someday I'll explain all of this to you. But until then, you can't tell anyone. And forget you saw the whole thing. Do you like pizza? I open the box, showing Joe the pizza.
I don't know, but it smells good, and it has little fish on it.
That asshole Frank, he knows I hate anchovies. A blue light flashed across the ceiling, and a six-pack of beer fell to the ground.
It happened again. See, I didn't imagine it.
What's a pizza without beer? Grab yourself a slice and remember not a word to anyone. I read the note they sent. No gun, no gold, no pills. Do your job and kill Hank before your brain fries. There is a thumb drive in the pizza box. When you kill Hank, we will no longer know who you are. So send that back. It has the complete records of everything we did and will remind us who you are. Frank. P.S. Enjoy your pizza. I had it made special for you. I swear that bastard is lucky 100 years separate us. The first night in the new house was a circus. While it was good to be inside, we had no furniture, water, or fuel for the furnace. In our old camp, we could build a fire and get some heat, but here, we had no way to warm the house without coal. Ben tried to burn wood in the coal furnace, but all he accomplished was filling the house with smoke. It got so bad we had to go outside and wait for it to dissipate. Joe stood at the front door, swinging it back and forth, trying to clear the smoke. Ben became defensive, and if anyone looked in his direction, he would tell them to go to hell. I handed Ben a burlap sack and told him to walk along the train tracks and pick up any coal that had fallen off the ore cars. He wanted to argue with me, but it was one of the coldest nights of the year, and he decided it was better than spending the night freezing. He motioned for Joe to join him, and it wasn't long before they returned with a sack of coal, and soon Ben had a proper fire going. Wilbur patted Ben on the shoulder, and everyone's mood improved. We sat in a semicircle around a heating grate in the living room, rubbing our hands together as we warmed up. Joe lasted 10 minutes before blabbing about blue flashes, pizza, and beer falling from the ceiling. He and Wilbur then spent an hour comparing notes while giving me sideways glances. Joe showed Wilbur the cardboard pizza box, and they examined it as if someone had invented sliced bread. They had seen cardboard before, but nothing approaching the quality of that pizza box. And it was difficult to explain the aluminum beer cans. Joe collected them and got upset when I crushed one. I tried to explain it was common to do that after finishing a beer, but Joe made me promise not to do it anymore. Wilbur stares at me for a long while, then asks,
Stan, I have to ask, who are you? I mean, things falling from the ceiling, stuff we've never seen before, and the electric blue flashes. I heard of this fellow, Nikola Tesla, who works with electricity. Are you connected to him?
I told you, I'm from 100 years in the future. I smile and wink at him.
You'll tell us when you're ready, but partners shouldn't keep secrets.
Tell this Tesla guy to send us some more beer. If I had a case, maybe I could put up with sharing a room with Joe, even though he snores.
I don't snore?
You sound like a freight train. When I bring a lady home, you are going to have to sleep in the hall. Nothing spoils a romantic encounter like a snoring roommate. Besides, I don't want you watching.
Okay, but the same goes for you.
Shit, if you bring a lady home, I'll sleep on the roof.
If you boys don't figure out what a bath is for, I doubt there will be any ladies showing up.
Why do you always have to do that? You're bossy and you think you're better than us. The way I see it, you're just another bum. Shit, you would be dead if not for Wilbur.
All right, boys. Everyone has had their say. There are a few biscuits left and some jam. Let's enjoy our dinner.
Despite it all, I could tell the boys were glad to be inside and proud of having their own house. I would still have to be careful about how I handled them, but they were coming along. And Ben has a point. I've given Wilbur all the credit and treated Ben as if he were my lackey. I'll need to make him feel important. I have my crew. They are smelly, stubborn, and loyal, just the way I like them. Well, maybe not smelly. As soon as we get the water hooked up, they are going to learn about personal hygiene. Wilbur and Ben did an excellent job of finding a truck. They purchased a used Ford delivery van from a carpet store that had gone out of business when the owner died. The enclosed truck bed would keep people from seeing the whiskey we planned to haul. The truck was in good condition. It had new tires and firm brakes. Somewhere along the way, they found a stray German shepherd. It has taken a liking to Joe and has been named Buster. At first, I was not keen on having a dog around, but he grew on me and will make a good watchdog. Keep people from nosing around the house when we are not home. In the morning, we ate a breakfast of stale biscuits. We had had several good meals, and the boys didn't mind. They had enough money in their pockets to stop at a diner for lunch and get whatever they wanted. I need you three to head up to Windsor and bring back another load of whiskey. The three of them turn and stare at me. Ben drops his biscuit and gives me his usual annoyed look.
Shoot, I still have most of my money. I haven't had a chance to get drunk and spend some time with the ladies.
Those speakeasies. We sold the first load of whiskey. We need to make them regular customers, which means they have to be able to count on us to have a regular supply of whiskey.
What good is having money if we can't spend it? I signed up to be a bootlegger, not a priest.
There is a lot of stuff we need to buy.
Like what?
Furniture, beds, new windows, or do you like the wind whipping through the house? And sooner or later, we will need to pay off the cops.
This is bull.
Tell you what, you can stay in Windsor tonight. Get yourself a hotel room. Ben, get drunk and buy yourself a Canadian whore.
Can I get one too? I want one whose hair smells good.
Yeah, stick with Ben. He will make sure you have your pick. Wilbur, I have to ask you to stay sober. Make sure the boys don't get in too much trouble. Wilbur smiles and nods his head. He likes the fact I see him as reliable. I pull Wilbur aside and give him the rest of the money, enough to purchase a truckload of whiskey with a little left over in case they have to bribe their way out of trouble. It won't be long before people realize trucks returning from Canada carry whiskey. You will have to watch out for hijackers. That's why I want you to spend the night in Windsor, then leave early in the morning. Hijackers are like most criminals. They like to sleep in. Ben will complain but drag his ass into the truck. He can sleep on the way back. Soon, I'll have to have the boys carry firearms. Ben and Wilbur, anyway. I don't know about Joe. I don't want him shooting the wrong person. It won't be long before other bootleggers take notice of our activities, and we have to be prepared.
Professional audiobooks in a click. Spoken.